Alright there folks, welcome back to a brand new season in Are We There Yet? 2027-28 with the Juve. We start of course on the board screen, untouchable we are, and you can see we didn't have the typical dip that Juve have had in the last 4 years, well 3 years. We didn't actually have that. We even had a massive spike. New sponsorship deals, away kit sponsors have come in. We had a decent transfer budget. You can see we've got £20 million left. We've got 60,000 in wages as well. Let me talk you through some of the boys who've joined and left. So let's have a quick look at the history. Should we start on outs? Let's start on outs. I'm not going to rearrange them into fee order, even though that's sensible, because whenever you click off, it goes back to this order. So Mazzolini, a player we never used, a winger, decent winger in fairness. If we played wingers, he'd definitely be playing, although technically he's not that good. You see, he's worth £32.5 million for Bournemouth. I don't think he's £32.5 million worth of player. I think we got a good value deal out of him. 15 million rising to 18.5. Charo Garcia, the man who found his way onto my hate list, moved to Monaco as he wanted to. You can see there, I don't know why it says he has a future transfer arranged. That's obviously an old report, but it gives you an idea. It's not brilliant, so we bought him in for 5.5, I think it was, 5.25, and we sell him for 7, rising to 9. 6.75 rising to 9, so not too bad. A few loan deals, we'll skip past those. Cristiani's gone out to Rangers. He's okay. Never really going to cut it as a wing back or a striking option, so he may as well go. Good luck to him in Rangers. I'm happy to send players out to Scotland after my time with Clyde. And the other player to leave is Carluccio, a player we did use at right wing back for some time as backup, but we've got better options now, and I'd rather give Youth a chance. He's 21, he's probably a little bit beyond our rescue in terms of his age. So yeah, a few loans have gone out as well, nothing out of the first team, apart from maybe De Paolo. We did use him, and he was the guy who scored for us, which you didn't see, so we'll move on. Players we've bought in. There's one big one sticking out there, £59 million, crazy deal. But Michael DeWitt comes in for West Ham United, a decent centre-half, better than what we had, and just gives us stronger options at the back. I blame our defenders for crashing out of the Champions League and not winning the Italian Cup last year, so we sort of focused on the back. I don't think we need to buy any strikers. The big money's gone on Emmanuel Munoz. We probably overspent. Acquisition from Atletico. You can see technically he's not amazing, and he's not a natural right wing back. It's difficult to find. Seems there's a lot of left wing backs, but not so many good right wing backs that we could sign for the money we have, even when we're going to spend 59 million. So we brought him in. I think he's very good mentally and physically. He's bang on the money, and I think technically he's good enough for what we want. He can tackle, he can mark. And he's good at crossing the ball as well, so he's already chipped in with an assist. Then we signed Alban Lafont, a real-life goalkeeper, still just 28, so that gives you an idea how young he starts in-game. If you're looking for him, he starts at Toulouse, you can see that there. Signed him up for just £9 million, a good backup. I just wanted better strength in depth, and I think that this gives it to us. He's definitely better than Barini, who I've transfer listed. We could persevere with him and maybe get him up, but he's 23, so it's time he moved on if he wants to play football, which hopefully he does. Interestingly, after we transfer listed him, about 3 weeks later, he came to us and asked for a loan move. And then I said, no, I'm going to sell you. And he said, no, he wants to fight for his place. So he hasn't got a place to fight for, sadly for him. Players who've left, or rather players who've stayed. Morata's deal was up, but we managed to give him a new deal. I was quite happy. He's basically halved his wages. It's a 1-year deal. He is wanted for some reason by Crystal Palace. I mean, their window's shut, our window's shut. I've waited till after the transfer window to do this episode, just so we were sure of any ins and outs. But yeah, Morata, a new deal, and he's already scored 4 of those were in one game, which you'll see in a minute. But he did so well for us last year. I think he adds something to the squad still. Physically, he's starting to come down. I think in a year's time, probably around Christmas time, in all fairness, it is going to be time to be saying goodbye to Alvaro, but I think we can be happy enough with him. Players who promoted to the first team, then Miral Casoli, an Albanian striker. If I've watched Football Manager series on YouTube, apparently if you're in Italy, you need a good Italian striker, that helps, but an Albanian striker, can't go wrong. And Miral Casoli has come in and already scored 3 times in 2 Serie A games, especially one that we were struggling in definitely at some stage. Sergei's asked to leave, but we managed to keep him. We told him, why would he leave? We've got a great dressing room, and that's paying off at the moment because that's worked on Sergei and also Andre Silva. Andre Silva also the wrong side of 30, but he's good for another couple of years at least. But let's have a look at players that have gone out. We'll look at the free transfers, or rather released players. Memphis gone. Moved to Sociedad in the end. 180 grand a week I think he was on. Ridiculous. Melagioni, probably could have kept him. He did well for us, but he didn't want to sign a new deal. And again, he's just a little bit meh in a lot of areas. Very good mentally, and it pains me a little bit because he did actually do quite well for us, but he wouldn't sign a new deal. And he goes out to Liverpool, and we probably utilised the money in better areas. Yuri Medeiros, again, a winger, not convertible, in my opinion, at 33. Was earning far more than that with us, moves out to Espanyol. Alphonse Areola, a player that as soon as we arrived, wanted to go back to France. Obviously, he didn't enjoy France that much because he's now gone to Turkey. So he's with Fenerbahce. And then the rest are effectively youngsters, apart from Fornells, who's gone back to Villarreal. So he's gone full circle almost. Again, he was earning a lot more with us. He's actually started quite well in La Liga. Good luck to him. So that is how it is then. Our league table, we can see we're 2 games in. We play Napoli today, so I'll be back. Big crunch game. It was top v second, but it's now third v fourth because of the extra game that Roma and Palermo have played. But let's have a look at the results. You can see, for some reason we're all the way down there. We won the Super Cup 7-3. We got our own back on Inter after that 6-4. It's a big scoring game. There's always 10 goals in the game when we play Inter in cups. But 7-3, fortunately for us, Belotti had an off day. It could have been better as well, to be quite honest, but it was a good performance. Sergei with a hat-trick from midfield, pretty good. And then on opening day away at Bari, Alvaro Morata, we were 6-0 to the good before Kwon Chang-hoon scored twice in the embers of the game to put a little bit of respectability into it. 6-2 is still a bad result, isn't it? Especially on your opening day at home. Then a 3-0 win over Udinese. This was the game, as I said, we made heavy work of it, to be honest. We didn't look like we were going to get the breakthrough until Casoli came on and grabbed a couple. It was 3 goals, effectively, in 15 minutes that sealed the win for us. We were utterly dominant in the game. It was just one of those games where you just think it's not really going to happen for you. But happen it did, and that gives us the 6 points and an unbeaten start to the season to continue the invincible run. This is a massive test, though. Straight away, Game 3, away at Napoli. They did sell Silvio. I think if you might remember him. Let's have a look. I don't know why we're looking on that. Let's have a look at the transfers out. They sold Silvio, who was their big striker last year, for big money as well, £32 million to Leverkusen. So they're preparing to beat us again. So they've not really. I don't think they've really bought anyone in. Magrao is left back, and Kotz. Be careful how you say that. Well, maybe he's actually quite good, Turkish striker. So it'd be interesting. Napoli were thrown out of Champions League as well. Failed financial fair play. So you can't just keep clicking buy players and expect to get away with it. Injury wise, we're pretty free. You can see there's no red. There's a lot of players wanted. If we got rid of them all, we'd have about 4 players left, but we're not going to. Noafo picked up a knock in the cup game, so he has only just come back. He'll probably start today ahead of Morata. But we'll see a pitch side in just a minute. I'll confirm the team, and let's hope that we can beat Napoli and get back on top of the league able. Good player. See you in a minute. So there are teams then. Boris, Antonio, Caldara, DeWitt, Munoz, Luison, Aguero, Sergei, Silva, Dlugolecki and Nwafor. Pretty much what I consider to be my strongest 11. Yeah, quite pleased with it, to be honest. That's, I think we're stronger than we were last year. Let's tell the lads we expect the win, even though I'd be happy with a point. Or happy. I shouldn't say happy. Happy are the things you download on your phones, aren't they? But there we go. Let's get out there. Blue versus white. 3v4. Well, whoever wins this goes top, effectively. So it's a bit of an incentive. So opening 20, nothing's happened. Corner ball hit away by Tumelo. Nwafor deflected strike and it's in. Second phase from the corner. Nwafor gets off the mark. His first Serie A appearance of the season and his first goal, albeit deflected. And we take a 20th minute lead in this massive game in Naples at the Sao Paulo Excuse me, at the Brazilian city Sao Paulo, at the San Paulo. Yeah, heavily deflected strike, but Nwafo doesn't care about that. He's off. He's now been capped by Italy. Interestingly, Luisson doesn't get near the Italian squad. Go figure that one out. So half an hour, 10 minutes or so after the goal, Tuminello loses out, but Napoli get a little bit fortunate there, and Ferreira breaks it down this right side. It's crossed in, and you'd have to expect a player, you'd have thought that old Silvio would have put that one away, but Hussein Kutz, careful, misses that one narrowly wide of the post. And a corner just before the 45 are up. Nwafo on the edge of the penalty area slams one wide into the hoardings. Not far away, that wasn't. So it's half time then. You can see from the stats, we're well on top. Napoli, that's the first goal they've conceded. They're defensively sound. We'll tell the boys not to get complacent. That's worked well enough, so we'll just send them out there with that fresh in their minds. Expect to concede in the first 10 minutes now. But hopefully not. I wouldn't mind, to be honest, if this was the most boring Italian game of football you've ever seen. But it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. As Cristian Fernando sends a goal kick upfield towards Tuminello, the danger man for Napoli, wins that. Ferreira comes down this right side, tries to play it into the channel to Tuminello. Antonial should deal with it. Gives it to Boris. Flicked up now towards Sergei, loses out. Aguero putting pressure on, but space is starting to open up a little bit too much for my liking. The ball cuts. Good save by Boris, stood up well and turns it away for a Napoli corner. First moment of real danger, apart from the shot that he slammed wide. First moment of real danger presented by any Napoli player. Silva finds Nwafo. Probably unlikely to see anything happen here, and indeed we don't, as Augusto Cesar puts that one into touch. And a throw in now, 54th minute. Sergei will collect into the channel for De Lugo. Andre Silva, Luisson, and he scores. The man who never gets a look in at Italy, or with Italy, scores for us here and makes us a 2-goal advantage. Bit of daylight for us. Not enough to consider safe, but certainly something to protect. As well-worked move, to be honest. You see Napoli just guilty of maybe standing off a touch. You see a lot of their players are sort of watching the ball, it seems, and it comes to the fullback, who right-footed. That's the advantage of him being inverted, of course. He is right-footed. Drilled it beyond the goalkeeper, and we take a comfortable, at this point, lead. Just past the hour mark then, I think we're going to get a change on. Sergei's looking a little bit tired. Obviously, we've just come back from international break, so players have been here, there and everywhere. We're going to get Roggi on, because you get your Rog on at times like this. Antonio looks a little bit down as well. Defensively, I know we've strengthened, but we're still not probably as strong as we could be. I was hoping maybe to get another defender in, but Hugma stays, and Hugma comes on for Antonio. Don't want him sent off either. So I certainly don't want him injured, and I don't want him sent off. Both things, not good. As a free kick here from the goalkeeper. We should collect this though. Lugo, Nwafo, can he release? He can. Andre Silva, a little bit heavy that ball, and it falls back to Napoli. Tuminello seems to win. He's a good target forward, and that's a good ball through. Hussein, this time he scores, and there's no comfort now. He hasn't had a good game, I don't think. We'll demand a little bit more. That's his first goal for the club, I think. Well, yeah, we're not getting tight enough, and it was Hugma. Hugma's not as good as the rest, but I've messed with the defence there, haven't I? Maybe I should have left Antonio on, but here we go. Boris hasn't got his angles quite right, I would say, there as a non-goalkeeping coach. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Lugo Lechki's not having a great game. We're going to get the revelation on. The new boy, Casoli. We're going to put him on at right side. He's come on usually on the left because Morata's been playing, but we're going to leave him out on the right. And this is dangerous now because it's a 2-on-2 situation if we can't recover it, and that's a good ball. And they've got man over on the far side, but he might not need him. Well, he should have used him, but Sergio Gomez rams it into the side netting, and suddenly I feel a little bit uneasy. Tuminello, Ferreira. They seem to have an extra yard of pace all of a sudden, but that's a poor ball in, and Boris collects. Just need to calm it down. In fact, there's a touchline shout for that, but DeWitt, steady. That'll do. I mean, it's sort of aimed nowhere, and that'll go out, will it? No, Zini keeps it in. Awful ball. Nwafo comfortably collects. Good ball. Casoli, Silva, can he make it safe? He can't. It was well stopped in the end. Well fielded by the Napoli goalkeeper. Rog's corner. Casoli under it. Aguero. And it's in on the line by Andre Silva. It was pinball in there for a minute. But we take a 3-1 lead with 6 minutes left of regulation time. Surely these are the points in the bag. It'll return us to the top of the table. Let's have a look at this ding-dong in a penalty area. It's all in the 6-yard box, it seemed. Headed down. Aguero had a shot. It's a good save, in fairness. Oh, well, Augusto Caesar tried to clear that, and it just basically hit Andre Silva and went in. You feel for him, but I'm not a Napoli fan at this point, so I don't feel for him at all. It's a well-deserved win, in my opinion. Christian Fernando's free kick goes long. Tuminello finally loses one. Maybe he's given up. Or rather, he was playing the long game because he's in here. Tuminello strikes and it hits the post. Or tight angle. Probably would have been better served crossing that, but maybe he's given up on his strike partner. Aguero. Well, good hold-up play. Andre Silva now. Oh, and a good strike as Christian Fernando puts it behind. That should be game. 3-1 in front of a packed San Paolo. 71,000 fans, boosted by nearly 6.5 travelling Juves. Come on, Bianconeris. Superb. And a crossfield ball, Ferreira. Oh, I thought that was in, to be honest. That was a bit of a wicked effort, but it bent wide, and that should be the game. Puts us back on top of the table, as you can see on the left, just ahead of Roma on goal difference. Napoli leaves them in 4th. Is anyone having a bad start? Inter again down on 14th with just the 1 point at this stage. It's strange, isn't it? The Milan club's just not really doing it. I think we'll be passionately on that one, and I think they deserve it because Napoli are a good side and definitely, I say closest challengers. They were only challengers last year. They finished nearly 28 points or something behind. But we go top of Serie A. Absolutely delightful. Take a quick look at our Champions League group. It's an absolute nasty one as far as I'm concerned. Benfica, Man City and Copenhagen are the also-rans, hopefully. It'd be an achievement to get out of the group, never mind finishing top. If we can beat Man City at home, well, if we can win our 3 home games and maybe beat Benfica and Copenhagen, that maybe gives us a chance. Anything we get in Man City is a bonus. So let's have a look. Where should we come back? I think what we'll do is we will look to come back for probably the Roma game. They're second at the moment, so maybe they're going to have a good season. Or by the time we get there, they'll probably be down in 14th or something. So do pop a like on there for me. Let me know in the comments what do you think of the signings. Is there anyone we've kept that we shouldn't? Is there an area that we should have strengthened in that we haven't? Have I let anyone go that I shouldn't have? Melagioni perhaps. And do subscribe as well if you haven't already. Really is great to see. I'll see you again on that next video. Goodbye.